Hi guys, Pax et Bonum. Today, we are going to talk about functions still, but specifically, we are going to tackle a global variable and a local variable. So these two types of variables are almost the same, but they are very different from one another in terms of implementation. So our learning competencies today would are to differentiate a local variable from a global variable, and we will utilize the global variables while performing functions in JavaScript. So for our motivation, let's have a review. So every time I ask a question, I want you to pause for a moment to answer and try to remember our previous lessons about variables. So the first one is, what is a variable? In the most basic explanations, a variable is a placeholder of values. Any kind of value that we use, like integer numbers, alphanumeric strings, decimal numbers, even true or false, they are values, and they are placed inside a variable. So therefore, our variable is a container for different kinds of values. Next, how do we declare a variable in JavaScript? We declare a variable in JavaScript by using the keyword var. Now, what if we are going to create a variable named myVar? Let's try that first. So how do we do that? How do we create a variable named myVar? Let's create a script here. May script na sa taas. Let's use the script in the head section. So to create a variable named myVar, we use the keyword var followed by its name, myVar, and terminate. But if we will create the variable myVar with an initial value of 20, we will add here the assignment operation equal sign and the value 20. Oops. What if we are going to change the value of myVar from 20 and we will make it 200? So what will we do? On the next line, we will just call on the name of the variable myVar, and then we will assign a different value for it, which is 200. And then on the next line, we will add 2 to myVar, but the value must still be saved inside the same variable. So we will add 2 to myVar. So what will we do there? Since it will still be saved inside the same variable, so we need to call on the variable myVar still. But it will get itself plus 2. So that's how we manipulate the values of variables. Now, ever since we started using variables in JavaScript, we are actually using what we call global variables. What are global variables? Global variables are variables that are declared outside of functions. Again, they are declared outside of functions, and they can be used by anyone. What anyone means here is that these variables that are declared outside of functions can be used by any function existing inside the program. On the other hand, local variables are variables that were declared or created inside a function. These local variables are different from global variables in such a way that local variables has limited lifespan. Let me show you an example. Oh, another one. Local variables are only alive within the limit of its function. Again, let me show you an actual example here. So take a look at the first function. I've declared here a variable named local with the value yes. The definition of a local variable is the variable is declared inside a function. Do we have an existing function? Yes, by the name of example. Was the variable local declared inside the function example? Yes, it is inside the blocks. It is inside the blocks of example. Therefore, it is declared inside. So this variable local is an example of a local variable. And going back to the lifespan, as I've said earlier, it is only alive inside the function. It's only alive inside example. Once the program is done reading the function example, the variable local will not exist anymore. Now, with that in mind, let's look at the second function. Once the computer reads the second function, in this place, it tries to display the value of local. Now, the problem here is the function show trying to show the value of local, well, the variable local is not existing inside the function show. The variable local only exists inside the function example. Okay? If another function is using a variable of a different function, that's a big no-no. Just imagine it being of two different worlds. If in this place you have a variable, this place cannot use the variable, and vice versa. However, what we can do to circumvent that problem of local variables not being able to migrate to a different function, the shortest shortcut that I would teach you is we just use global variables. So how? Wait, let me just clear this one out. Okay. So how will we make use of global variables? Again, the meaning of global variable is it is declared outside of the function. So this code, the declaration of the variable, if we place that outside the function but still inside the script, something like this. We have the function, right? Function example. If we declare our variable local outside like this, we can now make use of it we can now make use of it in any function, like in show document that right. Oh, sorry. So something like that. Or even here in example, if, but why show? Sorry, it should be local. Local. Or here in the function example, if we want to change the value of local into a different string or an integer, it can be. But the idea is, if we declare the variable, if we declare this variable outside of the functions, these functions will be able to access the global variable. All right, so with that, let's try putting it into practice. I have here, take a look at this. I have here a simple calculator. So I want you to add 2 text boxes and 4 buttons. I've already provided the code of the form. Hey, sorry. This should be inside the form tag, okay? Should be inside the form tag. So what will happen, what should happen is, upon button click any of the buttons, it will perform the operation assigned to it. So if you click add, the first and the second text box will be added. If you click subtract, first text box minus second text box. For multiply, you multiply 2 values, and for the divide, the first will be divided by the second. So like I've said, the form is already here. Even the function names I have provided. All you have to do is to write the different functions inside the script. Don't forget, you have to create global variables so that each function will be able to access the global variables for your first and your second input. Okay? So please do the activity now.